Hey, everybody. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. Tonight's lead stories are Amazon destroys millions of products every year. Is your thermostat being remotely controlled? Windows 11 is on the way. Don't connect your iPhone to the Wi-Fi network I'm going to share with you. And did Google silently push COVID tracking to your phone? I want to welcome you to episode 1535 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, June 21st. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the podcast out. Of course, if you are brand new, we want you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. Right on the right-hand column of the website, you can get subscribed to the show real easy. A little bit further down, you get signed up for our newsletter. Newsletter contains everything I'm going to talk about during the show. So please do that. And, of course, you can join our chat room. Our chat room is available at geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server or our Discord server or on Slack. And if you want to, what did I do there? And if you want to be on our, there's something that's not hooked up right. If you want to be on our Slack channel, all you got to do is send me an email to geeknewscentral.com, geeknews@gmail.com. So I've got something going on here. So let's turn that off and because I hit a button the other day and I didn't pay attention to it. So DDR1, DSK1 is assigned to, let's make sure I get this, or I'm going to be all screwed up, I think. Right there. Is that right? No. Oh my gosh. It's on GFX1. So what's happened? There we go. Now I've got it right. Those of you listening to the show's like, what? What are you doing? What's happening? Well, on the TriCaster, I pushed the wrong button, didn't correct it, and I had a double layer. So back to the introduction. You can email me, geeknews@gmail.com. You can follow me at Twitter @geeknews. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook as well. All the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com. And, of course, this show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of podcasts. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. Of course, get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy to lock in savings, whether it be 30% off new product purchases at $4.99.com, whether it be $1 a month economy hosting for the first year of the free domain, or $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year of the free domain. Two of the absolute best deals on the planet when it comes to getting a hosting account anywhere, anytime, any place. All those promo codes are linked to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You copy the code or you just click the link. You can also get a free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, and business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. All of these deals, again, go directly supporting the show. And if you want to know how much you're saving on a hosting account, it's like 94%. Now, domain names and that single buy is just $350, but I got 30% off on a whole bunch of other stuff. So it doesn't matter what you're buying over GoDaddy. I've got a code for you. We want you to use those codes. We want you to share those codes. We want you to tell people about those codes. Because when you do, it's just like an in-kind donation to the podcast. And what it sets you up for is save a lot of money. And you get online just like me. Hey, Richard, thanks for the comment. Yes, I'm wearing a hat. For the first time ever on this podcast, I'm wearing a hat. I don't know why. Someone say, what's with a hat? What is this madness? The madness is, I don't know. Just got tired of my shiny bald head showing up. So I thought I would wear a very cool hat from a certain manufacturer. Well, those of you that know, you know. They make a great and they're not sponsor of this show by any means, but they make a great line of cargo pants. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So anyway, hey, everyone, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Those of you listening, you can't see the hat. You'll have to look at the video to check it out. And please do so. So what's going on here? Well, tomorrow morning at a very early hour, I get in the car and I head to Columbus for my first time being in our Columbus office for, March, April, May, June, 15 months. So 3-hour drive down there begins at about 5:30 in the morning. I'll be down there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be back here in the studio Friday. Matter of fact, we're going to do the Podcast Insider show here on Friday. There definitely will, well, I don't think there's going to be a show on Thursday just because of the schedule. So, again, apologize about last week. The cable company and I had a discussion. Apparently, they were doing network upgrade work, and they thought that because businesses normally close at 5 o'clock, that they could do network upgrades at 7 p.m. without notification. So, yeah, I got ready to do the show last Thursday, and there was just simply no internet. I had a pounding headache anyway, so it was kind of one of those, I guess it worked out, but it is what it is. But worked on projects this weekend, worked on my daughter's floor a little bit on Sunday. We've had some bad storms come through here. We've been on, matter of fact, the power's supposed to be turning on at the compound in about the next 10 minutes, but it's been off since about 1:30 in the morning yesterday when finally the one of 3 waves of lightning and thunder knocked out a whole bunch of lines. They had a couple of tornadoes, one here in town. They had one south of us. So we were right in the middle of the destruction. It wasn't, like mass destruction. They say it was a 100-mile-an-hour tornado. TF1, I think, is what they designated as. But anyway, been running on generator. But the first day the power went out, I trudged my butt down because the generator's in the building I'm in, and my brother-in-law and I go down there, and it wouldn't start. Now, we'd run the generator about a month ago, and ran just fine. So it started, and it quit. And I thought, we're out of fuel, and being this is a diesel. Now, we looked in the tank. There's plenty of fuel. So I started messing around, and sure enough, now, here's what you should see with diesel fuel on a farm diesel generator, farm fuel. You should see bright red diesel fuel. When I cracked it on the fuel pump or the fuel injector, and I just did one line, out starts sputtering, look like cottage cheese. And that is the sign of water mixed with diesel fuel. So we dinked around for a little bit. I took the fuel line off, and we got a bucket and dumped out about a half a gallon of water/diesel fuel before it started running clear red. Got it, the fuel line put back on, and she fired up and run like a champ. And so we only needed to generate about 3 hours that day, but today, when it went out at 1:30 in the morning, I heard it go out. Matter of fact, you guys know I'm on a CPAP machine, and the CPAP being out woke me up, and I just kind of like, okay, we don't need to start the generator now, and I just kind of rolled back over and went back to sleep. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard my brother-in-law downstairs monkeying around and fired the generator up at 3 a.m. And then I slept through to normal wake-up time. But, yeah, so it's been running all day and carrying quite a load, too, because it's powering the whole compound. And when my mom had the previous house, it would do the house and the barn. the coolers, no sweat, no problem with the load. But my sister built a considerably bigger house, a considerably bigger load. And of course, I'm in the loft. That's, my power requirements. And, I don't use a lot of juice because if I turn off the AC, it's just a couple of lights and stuff like that. And the hot water's done by propane. So relatively low amount of juice needed to just get, well, the water pump has to work. But anyway, yeah, I call it load shedding. You turn off selectively, turn off stuff to get the load where it needs to be. So it's not, basically anytime you see it go from 250 volts to, or 240 volts to 60 amps, and it starts dropping down, and the amps start dropping down, and the voltage starts increasing, you're loading a bad boy up too much because it's offsetting by frequency to handle. So anyway, kind of got that figured out exactly where we need to be, but probably around about 18 hours, and hopefully they get the juice back. It's pretty bad. I saw lines all the way down coming into the studio here today. But anyway, a little more stuff is going on personally. I'm dealing with a weird allergy. I actually consulted 2 different doctors, and the one really didn't completely agree what was going on with me, and the other doctor is semi-convinced what's going on. And really what it is about a month ago, and I have a clue on maybe what it is. About a month ago, I started itching around my torso, but just in the morning from like 6 a.m. to about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And it progressively got worse to the point where I was starting to get some hives on my back periodically. And so the first doc prescribed me a steroid and some cream, and really didn't do too much. And after consulting the second doctor, I got 2 prescriptions that seemed to be helping a little bit. But I think what it is, and I will know, it'll be confirmed when I go down to Columbus, it might be the cats. The cats are here in the studio, but I wasn't really messing with them. It wasn't laying potentially where they were laying. So, they've been in the house, roaming around, laying on the couch, wherever they plop. And then I'm sitting in the same area that they're, and I'm just thinking that might be it. It might be the cat. I might have a cat allergy. So we'll find out. It's not too bad. The 2 kitties are home where they originated, if push comes to shove. But, yeah, and it kind of lines up with the cat movement too, so time will tell. And my car has got issues communicating with Ford Connects. I had it in the dealer, and it took them a while, and finally they found the module that was jacked, and they have parts on order. So anyway, that's enough on what's going on here. I hope I caught you all up. Appreciate your patience with me. But you see, even right now, I'm scratching my arm. So I have learned everything there is about creams and anti-itching topicals, and I will give you my 2 best products to use if you have a problem. I have figured out which 2 are the best because I have tried like 5 different brands. And I've honed it down to 2. The first one that's the best really is cortisone. The cortisone one is by far the best. And then I'll share later, probably just show you in a camera when I get back here in the studio next go around. And anyway, my few days down to Columbus if my situation resolves while I'm down there, then the poor kitties are going to have to find a new home, because this is about to drive me batshit crazy, to be kind of frank with you all. All right, so that's what's going on here. Hopefully no more storms. Don't need no more generator time. Need to be back on power. And again, I leave out of here real early tomorrow morning to head to Columbus, and then potentially back here Friday morning. I don't know if I'm going to stay. Depends on what time I finish meetings on Thursday, if I stay Thursday night and then come back Friday, or if I leave out there to come home straight home Thursday, or vice versa. So I'll let you know, but I got a full agenda with the team. All right, moving into the stack of stuff that I've got for you tonight. Amazon, listen to this. Amazon labels millions of unsold products for destruction. A peek inside the destruction zone at one Amazon warehouse in the United Kingdom. Amazon marks millions of unsold products for destruction each year, according to a new investigation by British television program ITV News. ITV found stacks of boxes marked destroyed that were filled with electronics, jewelry, books, and other new or gently used items in one warehouse destruction zone. The news outlet caught the practice on camera while going undercover. In Scotland, it says it tracked some of the goods to a recycling center and a landfill. About 124,000 items at this particular warehouse were labeled destroyed during a single week in April, according to an internal document obtained by ITV News. Just 28,000 items were set aside for donations during the same period. About half of all the stuff that was trashed are things that people returned. A former employee told ITV, while the other half are unopened or still in their shrink wrap. The employee said, I used to gasp. There's no reason or rhyme to what gets destroyed. No rhyme or reason to get what gets destroyed. Dyson fans, Hoovers, the occasional MacBook and iPad. The other day, 20,000 COVID face masks still in their wrappers, said the former employee who spoke anonymously to ITV News. How can this be? Many third-party sellers pay to keep their stock in Amazon warehouses, but if their stuff doesn't sell, they may find it more cost-effective to just throw out the products instead of keeping them on the shelf. Other investigations have also dug into Amazon's heaping waste piles. Equivalent of a truckload of goods a week was sorted out for destruction in another warehouse in Germany. An investigation by environmental group Greenpeace found this year in 2018, Amazon destroyed more than 3 million pounds of products in France, a French TV station found out. It's an unimaginable amount of unnecessary waste and just shocking to see a multi-billion-dollar company getting rid of stock in this way. Amazon denied sending any products to landfills in the UK in a statement to The Verge and claims that the landfill that ITV identified is actually a recycling site. We are working towards a goal of zero product disposal, and our priority is resell, donate to charitable organizations, or recycle any unsold product, Amazon said in a statement. Now, every town usually had one of these. It was a place that you could go that was full of items that returned to Target, returned to Kmart, returned to Walmart. They would go in and basically buy this stuff by bulk. They'd bring it back. They'd sort it out. They'd figure out what was good and bad. And you could buy at a significant discount, used or dent or return stuff. It ran everything from toothpaste all the way through high-end electronics. There was a place in Honolulu that had this up until the warehouse they were in became too expensive to be in. But that place was full of stuff that people had returned. And it was a business that those folks had. Now, I don't know if those type of businesses are still thriving or not. But if they are 20,000 COVID masks, MacBooks, iPads, electronics, jewelry, this is a tragedy. We know it's Prime Day. You're all picking up stuff on Prime. I'm sure there's a deal or two out there to be had. Although my sister texted me this morning, she said that one of her friends was tracking an item and found it to be more expensive today than it was on normal pricing. I told her make sure that you're using an incognito window and a VPN when you're going to shop on Amazon for Prime Day in order to get the best price. And to shop smartly. Do cost comparisons. Don't assume it's the cheapest product out there. E-commerce is creating new environmental hazards as online shopping grows, more popular and more warehouses crop up near communities to meet demand. And, of course, customers have come to expect easy returns. I made a mistake the other day. I had an item that I thought I did not get. And I submitted a thing through Amazon saying, hey, this was a missing item that never arrived, and they replaced it. A few days later, I found the other item. So I fessed up, told Amazon, hey, I was wrong. That item, I found it. It actually was delivered. My mistake, my bad. I'll pay for the extra. And, I'm having an online chat with the gal. And it wasn't expensive, like $14 or something like that. And the person said, you're a good Amazon customer. Thank you for your honesty. Keep the second item. I was kind of shocked. And in that instance, I really wonder, does Amazon make it good with the buyer, with the seller? Do they credit that person $14 for that product that I mistakenly reported as not delivered? It was kind of surprising to me, to be honest with you. The other item had arrived, and I had opened it. So I could have very easily took that item that had just arrived and brought it back to the UPS store and sent it back. I guess they're not used to people calling in and being honest on a non-delivered item. But anyway, isn't it kind of shocking? Just think about it. Millions of unsold products destroyed. If they get recycled correctly, that's one thing. But there's always something for somebody. One man's junk is another man's treasure. I bet you there's a business there if you can just get access to that stuff and you have a big enough place to put it in. The ultimate garage sale, Amazon returns. So you may live in a community where you've signed up with your electrical company to allow them to turn your thermostat up when it's too hot. ERCOT is raising temperatures on smart thermostats. Some Texans in the Houston area said their homes have been much warmer this week, even while they are running their air conditioner. Many of these Texas homes claim that someone has been turning up the temperature on their thermostats since the energy shortage began. It turns out that someone was, in fact, messing with the temperature on the thermostats, according to KHOU 11. ERCOT, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, asked Texans to turn up their temperatures on their thermostats this week to 78 degrees or higher. Now, in some cases, it appears they weren't just asking. They are remotely raising the temperature. The ability to do that without informing the customers first appears to be due to people opting in to enroll their smart thermostats in a program called Smart Savers Texas. The agreement states in exchange for an entry into the sweepstakes, electric customers allow them to control the thermostat during periods of high energy demand. Now, this is a scam. They're entered into a sweepstakes. If I'm going to give someone control of my thermostat, and I say, okay, when you're running short of energy and you need to raise my air conditioner to 78 degrees, then I better be getting a credit. I better be getting a discount per kilowatt for your right to do that. I don't want to be entered in some ridiculous sweepstake. According to The Verge, Nest owners can opt into the program directly via Google's Nest parent company, even if their local utility isn't participating in a program. Honeywell told The Verge that customers who opted into their energy-saving program allow their smart thermostats to be adjusted remotely. However, customers can override the change. It's important to note that customers can opt out of these programs at any time. That appears to include the Smart Saver Texas program run by Energy Hub. This is an article over on Geek News Central. We hope that you'll go over there and read it, written by Jen, one of our writers. Matter of fact, Jen is one of our main writers at Geek News Central. So go check her article out. But entry into a sweepstake to have the ability to raise my thermostats. Someone's smoking crack. Come on. No way, no how, never, not going to do it. If I want to run my air conditioner at 65 degrees freeze myself out and have an $800 electric bill, that's my choice. For the record, I run my thermostat about 72 degrees on normal. 72, 73, and when I leave the house, I put it up a little bit so it's not working all day to keep it at that. And I know that not to switch it too much because I know the air conditioner works harder to get it. But since we've been on generator, it's been off. So I'll go home tonight to a warm loft. All right, Windows 11. Yes, that appears to be the new name. Microsoft is promising to show up the next generation of Windows at a June 24th event, which is likely to be called Windows 11. Some folks have gotten a look at the upcoming OS. It leaked in a somewhat usable, stable condition. From what's been seen, there will be a big visual overhaul, taking inspiration from the unreleased Windows 10X with a redesigned taskbar and start menu, and overall cleaner look throughout, including places like File Explorer. You know, that's something I honestly kind of miss on the Mac. I know you have the, you have the ability to do a search for stuff, but I really miss File Explorer. And including places like the File Store and Windows Store. Despite the leak, there's still something you have to wait for Microsoft to show off. Microsoft said in 2015 that Windows 10 would be the last version of Windows, so hopefully the presentation will offer some insight as to why the companies decided to call the next version of Windows 11 instead of something like Windows 10.5. So we will see what happens on the 24th. So probably reporting on that a week from today, potentially. All right, have an iPhone? You ever looking for open Wi-Fi networks? Well, don't ever connect to one that shows %P, %S, 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 and %N. If you see a Wi-Fi SSID like that and you're on an iPhone, do not click the network, even if it's open, because some joker is going to do this and you're going to get really pissed off. By connecting to Wi-Fi network that uses the SSID, as I just called out, %P, and it's basically the percentage sign, which you normally don't see too much, but the percentage sign, P, %S, and it's 0 over 0, 0 over 0 S, 0 over 0 S, 0 over 0 S, 0 over 0 N. You're going to basically screw your Wi-Fi on the iPhone. Now, there is a way. They finally figured out a way to fix this. And there is a reset function. And what it does is this locks you into that network, doesn't allow you to change it, you can reset the phone, you do all kinds of things. Your Wi-Fi will no longer work. But you can go to settings, general, reset network settings, and that clears it. Apple has not responded to this. A quick analysis of the bug by an outside research grade that isn't likely the bug could be exploited to execute malicious code. But someone potentially could have you log into their network and lock you into it. So be aware. All right, this next one is what a lot of people are really worried about. And there's a double piece to this article. So let me start off by just telling you what people were thinking was happening. Mass notify by Massachusetts, state of Massachusetts, over the weekend, Google and the state of Massachusetts managed to make the creepy COVID-19 tracking app even creepier by automatically installing them on people's Android phones. Numerous reports on Reddit, Hacker News, and in-app reviews claim that Mass Notify, the Massachusetts COVID tracking app, silently installed on their Android devices without users' consent. When Google was contacted, they gave the following statement. We've been working with the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to allow users to activate the exposure notification system directly from the Android phone settings. That's the keyword here. Thus, functionality is built into device settings and is automatically distributed by the Google Play Store, so users don't have to download a separate app. COVID-19 exposure notification is enabled only if a user proactively turns it on. Users decide whether to enable this functionality and whether to share information through the system to help warn others of possible exposure. Now, everyone thought it was an app being installed, but they couldn't find an app button, but they saw this functionality. So what really happened here, according to the update, there's two apps. There's one in the Play Store that is there's a screenshot in the Play Store are wrong, and the auto-installed version of Mass Notify does not actually have an app icon or a public health statistic UI. It only lives in settings Google COVID-19 exposure notification. So basically, what they did is they updated the operating system so that you could go to settings Google COVID-19 exposure settings. You can turn that on if you want to be tracked. So some geek got in and found this and said, oh my God, they installed this Massachusetts Notify app. Well, the app was not really installed, but this setting was installed. So the statement from Google makes sense now because you can go and load the Mass Notify COVID-19 exposure app. There's an app for that. And there's also a settings that they're pushing to phones in Massachusetts. Now, what happens if you live outside of Massachusetts and you drive through? Well, and you have your Android device on, will it install this setting? And if you leave the state, will it remove it? How's that work? So I want everyone that has an Android device to look at your phone. I want you to go to Settings, Google, and look for COVID-19 exposure notifications in your phone and see if that setting is there for whatever state you're in. And I know we have Massachusetts listeners, so let me know if you see that on your Android device. Take a screenshot, email it to geeknews@gmail.com. I want to see if there's more of this going on. Now, Mass took forever to launch its COVID-19 app. Months behind other states, a time when most responsible people are already vaccinated, according to this article. Despite this incredible, the V3 Mass Notify has over 1 million installs. The Play Store only shows install numbers in tiers, so the 1 million plus label on the Mass Notify means more than 1 million people and less than 5 million, which is the next tier up, actually installed the app, and Massachusetts only has 6.8 million residents. And considering the U.S. smartphone install base would put Android around 50%, that's massive penetration. This is massive penetration. Now, I want you to look for this app. It sounds hokey to me that something has been installed, and this is basically the conclusion of Ars Technica. If you're wondering, can Google really install apps on an Android device without user input? The answer is, can they ever? Push installs are actually the only way Google Plays install apps. When you open the Play Store and press the install button, you're actually requesting that Google push you an app. Over the Firebase cloud messaging, users can actually view this in action themselves by remote installing an app from the Google Play website or a desktop computer. Nobody has to be in front of your Android phone to grant administrative privileges to anything the app just installs, because of Google has a 24/7 line of access to your device. Now, the really fun part is they can uninstall, and they've done that, uninstall apps from your phone without your interaction as well. so they can remotely nuke malware if needed. Now, can they use this to push law enforcement tracking to your phone? Dun, dun, dun. That is the question of the day. Eddie, thanks for joining us today. Thank you for talking about the video quality. Hi, Liz. Thanks for being on. Thanks for commenting on the hat. Richard, thanks for commenting as well on Facebook. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for checking in. So, kind of creepy. Creepers jeepers. It continues. Okay, moving on. Again, the email address, geeknews@gmail.com. I want to hear from you. Look at your phone. And if you've already installed an app, it's probably there, tracking app. But the question is, how many of our Akamai listeners, and Akamai means in the know, how many of you would actually do this? Install a tracking app on your phone for COVID. How many of you actually voluntarily did that? All right, moving on. Toyota's new robot will take selfies while cleaning your counters. To show off its skills, the robot record itself, selfie style, while taking care of household cleaning tasks. Of course, this robot looks like it's cleaning counters that don't have very much stuff on them. But it is a cool kind of video. So link will be up in the show notes. Pretty cool way to clean your house with a robot. My robot is my hand. NASA Mars helicopter set for 8th flight to keep up with the rover. They're going to launch on June 20. It's going to happen no later than today. Oh, they're going to fly about 525 feet and land at a new location. They're going to go out ahead of the rover and taking some pictures along the way to basically look at the path and make sure it's clear. So people are very, very excited about the progress and how this thing is done, with 8 potential flights, or 7 being completed and an 8th flight in the planning stage. Univision plans to launch its own paid streaming service in 2022. So those of you that are Spanish speakers, they plan on offering original produced Spanish language content. The new service, which does not have a name, will have 2 options: a free ad-supported tier as well as a premium subscription level. The free option will be anchored by Univision's current free Spanish language streaming service, Prende TV, and have over 40,000 hours of content, including select originals, major studio films, premium Spanish language titles, and expanded live sports offering in a unique 24/7 news service. So that's very, very cool. And you know, I started this show today. I made myself a jug of iced tea. And I left the stupid thing in the kitchen. Yes, I will try to make it to the end of the show without, I guess I got water within reaching distance. I'll have to stand up. But, don't you hate that? You do prep and you're not even ready. In my goal to not drink as much Red Bull. You guys still like my blueberry sign back there? It's gotten a few comments. Thank you so much. DoorDash now delivers same-day groceries from Albertsons, Safeway, and more. That's if you have DoorDash in your area. This area has crap. Doesn't have nothing. But almost 2,000 Albertson-owned stores have partnered with the delivery service to provide groceries in less than an hour. You know, have you guys been shopping lately? I went to Meijer's on Thursday when I didn't do a show and got groceries. This is where I know things are changing. Ever since I've been here, I always brag to the people in Hawaii that milk here in the mainland is cheap. $1.09, $1.10 for Meijer brand milk. I was in Meijer's the other day. It was $2.56 for milk. That's halfway to Hawaii prices. $2.56 for milk. I looked at eggs. Eggs were up. I just buy staple stuff. I buy bread. You know, hey, groceries. No, there's no inflation, ladies and gentlemen. None. Zero. There's zero inflation going on. No price gouging. There's nothing happening. Nope. But when your grocery bill is going to go up 50%, let me tell you, there's something afoot in a big, big way. It's across the board. And not only that, more people are doing the little trick of giving you the same box, less contents. That's a scam that is now I'm seeing more and more. What they gave you 12 ounces before, now they're giving you 10. Pay attention. They're doing more of that too, so you're not getting as much stuff in those packages that you have. This has been going on a long time, I know, but I'm seeing more and more of it. And raising the price. Wax on, wax off. Richard says, track app? No way. Again, you got to go look. You got to go look at your settings and see if it's in there. Uber is to become the sole owner of a grocery delivery startup called Corner Shop. So Uber is buying their way into grocery delivery. And it will purchase the remaining 47% interest in Corner Shop in exchange for 29 million shares. The transaction is expected to close in July. Uber announced in 2019 plans to take a majority ownership in Corner Shop. That transaction wasn't completed in third quarter 2020, other than in Mexico, which closed in January 2021. So I guess Corner Shop is a Mexico business. I've never heard of it here in the United States. Yeah, the company expanded its operations to 8 countries, include down the Americas, including Chile, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Peru, the United States and Canada. And they raised $31.7 million over 4 rounds before they got bought. Boy, you can't go a day without some congressional person pounding on the wall. Microsoft should face the same antitrust scrutiny as Facebook, Republicans say. Oh, a Republican said. Representative Jim Jordan is shining light on Microsoft. Representative Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, is calling on Microsoft to face the same antitrust scrutiny as other large tech firms in a letter to the company on Monday. In the letter, Jordan asked Microsoft President Brad Smith if he believes the company will be affected by the swath of antitrust bills introduced in the House earlier this month. You bet they will. There are a total of 5 bills in total, spanning from offering up more money for antitrust enforcers to banning large tech. We've already talked about this. So, what do you think? Think Microsoft would be part of that play? They're big enough. They could be. In exciting news for those of you that have Netflix accounts, Netflix could get some sweet Steven Spielberg action via a new Amblin Partners deal. The film studio produced multiple films per year for the streaming service. Along with the announcement, Spielberg shared his excitement over the new partnership. He says, "This new avenue for our films, alongside the stories we continue to tell with our longtime family, Universal, and other partners, will be incredibly fulfilling for me personally, since we can get to embark on it together. I can't wait to get started, and the entire Netflix team." Now, if Amblin sounds familiar, it's probably because Amblin Entertainment, a production company nestled in the Amblin Partners that shepherd all kinds of movies to the big screen, including E.T., The House with a Clock in the Walls. So they don't have an exclusive deal, but it sounds like they've signed a big cash deal to get some of that, some of those movies. So very, very cool. Truck drivers, pay attention. Amazon eyes robot truck startup as it continues to hedge its bets on AV tech. The e-commerce giant is considering acquiring a 20% stake in Plus.ai. So we know that Amazon owns a robotaxi company. They're experimenting with delivery robots. They have drones. Now they're thinking about autonomous driving. They want to eliminate humans from their jobs, except for those robots that are in their warehouses loading boxes every day and walking 25,000 steps or whatever the average Amazon worker walks in their facilities. Plus is expected to receive approximately $500 million from the deal, including $150 million from a fully committed common stock. That's a private investment in public equity offering. The deal values Plus at approximately $3.3 billion. So if you don't think automated vehicle and trucking is not coming, $500 million is nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot of shamolis to put into tech, into trucks, into testing, and to figure out how to make this work. Fintech startup Revolt has filed some financial results and shared details with the press. In 2020, the company reported $360 million in revenue. That's a 57% increase compared to 2019 revenue, $229 million. Some of that was from cryptocurrency. So I haven't been following this company too close, but if you are, there is a financial update. EU data regulators call for facial recognition ban in public spaces. I'm telling you, the EU is doing all kinds of crazy things. Their recent ruling on providers like my company having to scan our library of content for copyrighted material is, instead of giving us protected being protected like we under Section 420 here in the United States. It's not good news. We're still looking at the legal thing, but this EU data regulators call for facial recognition ban. They also said it should be illegal to use AI for social credit scoring. So again, in public spaces, you go into a mall, go into a business, you go in any place, commerce, they want to block on faces, gait, fingerprints, DNA, voice, keystrokes, and other biometric behavior signals in any context in public accessible areas. They said it should be illegal for AI system to use biometrics, categorize people into clusters based on ethnicity, gender, political, or sexual orientation, or other types of classification or which they could discriminate against. On top of that, they argued that there should be a ban on using AI to infer emotions of a natural person. It would be allowed in specific situations, such as on certain medical grounds. In other words, you go into your doctor and they look at your face and say, oh, this person is thinking about killing themselves, so we need to commit them. You think I'm joking? The regulators responding to an AI regulatory framework proposed by the European Commission, the EU's executive branch. Well, when are they going to ban AI here in the United States in public spaces? That is the question. How many of you can remember, and we're going to go back in the way back machine, how many of you remember Google Talk, Google Plus Huddle? Of course, most of you probably remember Google Hangouts. How many remember Google Allo, Google Chat? How many of you remember all that? How about Google Duo? Matter of fact, what do you Android users use in place of FaceTime? How do Google users talk to, how do you guys do video chat? What do you guys primarily use in video chat with iPhone users? But anyway, there's a very brief, not brief at all, that's oxymoron according to the length of this article, a very brief history of every Google messaging app that's come and gone and where we are at today. And there is an incredible list on failures, things that have went by the wayside, things that we've used and it's been abandoned. It's just on and on and on and on. Moving on here, Samsung will show off the new Wear OS experience on June 28th. It spills the beans during Mobile World Congress session. And so they're taking part in MWC. Not in person, though. They're doing it remotely. The company teamed up with Google earlier this year to work on the upcoming version of Wear OS. So any blah, blah, blah. It'll be shown on the 28th. You know, one thing I will have to say tomorrow, I don't know where you guys live, but tomorrow in Michigan, all restrictions are off. Bars can stay open to 2 o'clock in the morning. There's no capacity limits anymore. No mask mandate, on and on. Everything is supposed to be back to normal. Supposed to be. Restaurants, finally, fast food restaurants are open. You can actually go in and sit down in them again. That's the first time in like 14 or 15 months. How about in your area? Are you guys back to normal? What's going on in your state? Is there still restrictions? I know you in Texas. You guys are good. In Florida, I know you guys have been good forever. Matter of fact, a friend of mine that was just down to Florida, and he said when he got there and got off the airplane, he said it felt like a whole different world. And I had the same experience. Remember when I went down to Tampa to see my daughter? So there's something in the air in Florida. And maybe freedom will reign once again here in this state. Of course, it's been pretty open in Indiana for a long time, but but they can't get workers. They still can't get people to work. There's, huge number of job openings here. So time will tell where that leads. Okay, Prime Day's going on. If you listen to this on Friday, it's already too late. But if you're listening to this on Thursday, you still have time. The best tech deals from Amazon and others. There's a bunch of stuff out there. I was kind of looking around. I don't need anything. I bought some micro SD cards. That's the only thing I bought so far on Amazon Prime Day. I even looked through camping stuff. Saw some stuff I'd already bought that was on sale, but nothing else. And I can't put my campsite up because the lumberjacks haven't come and fell the trees yet. But probably winter before I'll be able to do this now. But there's lots of headphones, speakers, PCs. If you're looking for a TV or security cameras, that kind of stuff, it's probably something you can find there. But what has been your best find on Prime Day so far? Share that with me via email. Love to hear the deal you found. Apple's App Store to face scrutiny in Germany as FCO opens market power proceedings. Now, I don't know what that is. Google's competition authority, the FCO, is completing its big tech GAFA bingo card by opening proceedings against Apple. As with similar investigations already opened this year into Amazon, Facebook, and Google, the proceedings will determine whether or not the iPhone maker meets the threshold of Germany's updated competition law. The 10th Amendment to the law, which came into force in January, enables the Bundeskartellamt, I just destroyed that, I don't speak German, to intervene proactively against can't hardly speak English either, to proactively against the practice of large digital companies if they are determined to have paramount significance for competition across the market in order to prevent them from engaging in anti-competitive practices. Woo-hoo! Stand by. The hammer's coming from all these countries. I don't know why I make fun of Hyundai. Hyundai now owns robot dog maker Boston Dynamics. That is closed. That deal has closed. So Hyundai has sealed its acquisition. Again, it's just, I apologize, Hyundai. I apologize in advance. It's just too fun. Because, I've drove some Hyundai cars before. Hyundai. So, anyway, they've sealed their acquisition of Boston Dynamics. And if you own a Hyundai car, I apologize. But I don't know. It's just one of those words I like to have fun with. Facebook is launching its Clubhouse clone and podcast streaming. So soon you're going to be able to listen to Geek News Central on the Geek News Central page. You got to try to figure out how to get it activated. There's a lot of mystery in this. Some of the secret decoder wings it's been limited rollout. Matter of fact, I signed a big NDA with Facebook last week. So I'm waiting for more information that I won't be able to talk about because they haven't shared anything with me since I signed the NDAs. I really don't have anything. I can share anything at this point, but apparently I'm going to get some access to some other information. But you'll be able to listen to the show at some point in the near future, other shows you love on Facebook and a Facebook page. You'll be able to leave the page and the podcast will continue to play. My recommendation, if you're going to do that, just come over to Geek News Central, click play on the player, open a new tab, and let it play that way. I'd much rather you have come to geeknewscentral.com, give me that web traffic, give me a like, give me something on Twitter, support the sponsor, all that stuff by coming to the website. Don't mind you listening anywhere else. I know there's hardly anybody listening on Spotify because I've told you not to listen there. But anyway, you'll be able to listen on Facebook if you want to. And you there, by the way, like the Geek News Central page. I'll get it added in the show notes tonight. All right, the Hubble telescope is in trouble. It sails serenely on in safe mode after efforts to switch to a backup memory module failed. So the question is, have you tried turning it on and off again? That's the first tech support thing, right? Turn it off and turn it back on. Have you done that, NASA? So it's been more than a week since the computer halted on Sunday, June 13th. An attempt to restart it following Monday failed with initial indications pointing to a failing memory module. They tried to switch to the backup memory module, which there are 4 of, a whopping 64K of CMOS memory, and it failed again. They're trying to go, so they're working on it. So we will see. If you remember, the last servicing of the Hubble telescope happened in 2009. And the James Webb telescope, who knows where that thing is at production? I thought that thing was already supposed to be launched, but, who knows? All right. So, believe it or not, I'm at the end of the show. We got a short show tonight because there just isn't a lot of tech news. We think, don't leave, we think that it's because of Amazon Prime Day. So, what say you? All right. Love to hear from you. Definitely drop me a message here. Feeling a little lonely. Get some commentary on the show. Where we're at, what we're thinking, what you're thinking, how am I doing, what's pissing you off, what's making you happy. And again, the email address is easy. geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, I'm on Twitter @geeknews. We're live on Twitter right now. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube Live. Wherever you may be watching, please leave a comment. Wherever you catch the show later, please leave a comment. If it's on the website at Geek News Central, leave a comment. I definitely appreciate it when you do. All right, so down to Columbus, and I'll be back with you. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. The insiders, thank you so much. I did have one insider cancel, and it's my fault. So I understand. I'm slow. So, but rest of you, thank you for being patient with me. I do appreciate it. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time here in the Geek News Central podcast. Again, if you do want to support the show, go over to geeknewscentral.com/insider. Yes. Broken record. The Insider Show is still coming. All right, everyone. Take care. We'll see you next time here on the Geek News Central podcast. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.